what I'm saying. We're getting to that season. This ain't gonna dry any further. We gotta get this planting done lickety split. Lickety split, Raymond. Behind, sir. Not ideal. We got a lot of soil to figure out, a lot of grading to figure out, a lot of sodding, and a lot of planting to do in the next 2 weeks. Or else, we're gonna run out of time. The ground's gonna start freezing, so we gotta be out of here in 2 weeks. So that means soil work done. Probably close to 10,000 plants going in the ground because our orders didn't go to plan. Trees are almost done, but we need the nursery to kick up their game with their spade truck. It's been taking way too long. So yeah, just a couple things. Nothing uncontrollable. We have a nice plan set. It's just I gotta be moving. Everyone's gotta be moving. We gotta stick to our plan. If we stick to the plan, we shall be okay.
This property has some history. Was a farm before Mark purchased it over 15 years ago, and then Mark ran his landscape business out of here, TPG Environmental, and when he bought it, we built this parking lot. I was here actually back then, way back when, and we built the yard not intending to put asphalt down but have a good solid base. But as the years went on, we kind of, we would patch a little bit, go a little bit further here, go a little bit further there, and it was kind of mismatch on the gravel that we had in here. So after the landscape business closed, then they made it back into a residential area, and that was a residential shop. Now we're building a new parking lot or a new landscape business, but the problem is we don't know where the good gravel base starts and where it stopped. So we did a geotechnical investigation starting yesterday. So what we did here is dug a trench from the edge of the property line and basically trying to find out where we left off on the gravel pad that we left behind original when we built the pad, and then when we landscaped after the fact when he closed the business down. So back in 2009, I want to say ish, right around then, this is where the previous laydown ended. So as you can see, it's good quality gravel. We placed it ourselves, so we're confident in this structure, gravel structure. Then the next layer you'll see here is when they capped it with clay, and then there was a topsoil mix when they were kind of reclaiming the area as more of a residential, back to residential conditions. So, and then after that we have our recycled asphalt. So peeling back these layers just like an onion, you get through it, and we can define the real structure here. Over here's the native ground, hasn't been touched, but this is where we want to extend the parking pad. So now we have the areas defined and we're confident in with our gravel structure and compaction.
So right now we're working on building the shed for our new power service here that we gotta build just to upgrade our power going to the property. And we're putting some conduits to be able to run the power inside the building. So we're gonna pour the pad and we have the building done here by the end of the week.
Getting this trench that's going from the side of the garage where our electrical shed's going for the new unit for the office. So I'm just finishing the trench coming through here, but I fucked up the tree hole, so I don't know how Buddy's gonna do that now. The tree spade operator, I don't know how he's gonna do that. And then like this is gonna take so long to bend all this. I don't even know how we're gonna bend this conduit to get it through this trench, because it goes through around there, there's a bend here, and then it's gonna have to bend again out in the driveway to reach there. So this is another massive fucking pain in the ass, so I don't know. Okay, so this trench is gonna bend, so we gotta find a way for that PVC to be as close up to this wall as we can and to hug this whole side. So I feel like this trench is gonna be like, can you just come walk with me here for a second? Because I don't know if I'm overthinking this, but she keeps like, so it says it, so from here, like, because the tree hole was here, so I don't know how we're gonna fix that now, because there was no other way to pull that. Like, there was no other way to run that, because the conduit's coming this way, so it would have came into here. So I've dug that out so we can put the pipes in, but this is a massive bend. And then when I get to the driveway, she says it has to bend to the right again and then back to the left. So I'm just trying to,
Yeah, it'll be all right.
that's what I mean, is I don't know if the conduit will bend that way or if I'm just being like too much. Like, I'm just confused. But
Yeah, it'll be okay. Well, let's get the pipe in.
that's what I thought. Right after break, I can get Khalid and Wailu to do that, and then get some other people to help us with plants.
Yeah, I mean, this is 10 minutes work, right? So they can do that up. And
I guess, yeah, as we're offloading or... All right. So after we get the plants unloaded, I'll get Khalid and Wailu to run the line through that and glue it until we get to the just past here. So just so whenever Cameron comes, he can put that fucking tree in the ground. So like, I wasn't thinking that it would bend that much. I didn't know it'd bend that much. I was confused because it's coming this far, and then if we're going back to the right, like, if you could take a couple minutes and spray paint out that for me, so I kind of know where to go next, because I'll get this finished by the end of the day. It will, as long as I just help my dad lay out the plants, then the guys just start planting, and then that's us covered, and then I can come over here and keep trenching this. Yeah, today's been really good. We've got a lot going on. We have the hardscape crew and the masonry crew doing a lot of soil work and grading with me. We're trying to finish up our last couple garden beds and grading areas to make sure they're all ready for all the plants we have coming this week, and then for asphalt and sod next week. And then we also have the masonry crew. They're gonna finish off today with putting all the polymeric sand in our flagstone joints to finish off our flagstone patios, which I'm really excited to see.
So we have a cement truck here this morning to pour the pad for our electrical shed, and that's what we're working on today with Carpenter's team.
Let's just rake it.
He lost a shoe in the process.
Let's just rake it.
Well, we had our lovely big plant order yesterday, right as everyone was pretty much leaving. So we had a team effort and unloaded it. So my dad came over to do the layout this morning, and we are putting them in as fast as we can.
Yeah, we've got lots of plants coming in. We're just kind of finishing up all the infill planting. A lot of the big trees have been coming in over the past few weeks, and Raylene's off on vacation, so I'm here doing some of the layout. Just went up to the nursery and found lots of really nice understory planting to kind of fill things in. A lot of the planting that we're doing here is sort of a restorative planting in some of the more naturalized areas, just to kind of regenerate some of the native species. And then we're also really filling in heavily around the water feature with a lot more ornamentals to kind of pick up that koi pond Japanese feel. Not so far back. You see how the spacing? You gotta be very consistent, otherwise everything goes in crooked. This line has to be nice and straight, and it has to be perfectly offset with the other ones, or the guys are going to come along and plant them where you put them. If you space them crooked, then you're going to have them crooked.
Yeah, and then this one hops out now?
Yeah, just go right out in front of those ones.
Okay, so yesterday we stayed late. We excavated the east side of the laydown, and we found where the end of the laydown existed, where they tried to reclaim over the laydown, and we have found a good foundation, good base for our asphalt. So we excavated down. Now we're prepped and ready for gravel. So another crew will come in. I'll continue on with the geotechnical investigation. So the findings for today, as I was excavating a questionable area in between the bins where there's going to be an access road to the screener, I found that there was a layer of clay at the area where I thought was okay. Anyways, red flag was flown, and you know, the high traffic or high heavy loads are going to be here with the trucks emptying into the bins with gravel. So high traffic, we want to make sure that we have a good base under this asphalt. As I'm excavating, I'm looking for the clay, as I know there was a clay cap over the existing laydown. So I'll find that clay cap as I go down, depending on final grade, because I need to maintain a minimum of 12 inches of good base under the asphalt. So I keep that in mind as I'm excavating down. I need to account for 3.5 inches of asphalt and then 12 inches of gravel. So I have my finished grades already marked out. As I excavate down to the clay cap that was there to reclaim the laydown, I'll dig down to the bottom of that cap, and then once I find the top of the gravel, I'll continue my excavation below 15.5 inches below that finished grade. I don't need to have to dig any further than that unless I have to, and I do find a topsoil like unsuitable to place gravel on. So today I found out that there's more excavation required. So I'm making the unknowns known because everyone thinks they know where the gravel started and ended. I'm just confirming that. So that's what we're getting at here today. Over here, you can tell where we left off on the reclaim of the existing landscape laydown, and where the owner decided to keep this portion of gravel functional. Anything behind here, they reclaimed, they sodded, and we have established our excavation. So we'll stop at this point because we know that we have a good gravel structure underside of asphalt here. over here we'll have to excavate all this down and to the top of this gravel with the orange line you can see here. Nothing was reclaimed here, so we have good solid, nothing to worry about. So I'll make my point from here out to the last excavation point and kind of map it out on a drawing, and then we know where we gotta dig. Yeah, so for grading purposes here on site, we're using a Milwaukee dual sloping laser. This laser is more advanced than your typical flat laser. We get 2 points, our X and Y axis. If you can picture, we have to make sure that we inline the point at your Y and inline your X. So let's square up. For example, we square up with the building because everything is square to the building outside of here. So as soon as we get our X and Y dialed in the right point, it almost looks like a gun pointer on the barrel where you put them both together. So you're trying to inline that with the building on the X, and then on the same way on the back side of the building, you want to go with the Y. So now we're square. So when we set our 1% on the east or west, it's always going to work out to the corner of our excavation, depending on how that topography of the earth works. So this just makes it a lot more efficient. For some jobs, this job you could have used a GPS system, but I'm here, so I know how to use a laser. It can be costly if you don't know how to use it correctly. If, for example, if you get the slope the wrong way and you start building your gravel up at the wrong area, and then the time they rig it up and figure out that we're sloped the wrong way, you have to dig it all up and replace it. So it's a costly device if you don't know how to use it properly. So I do put on training classes for that with my clients at Leanscaper, and I get to walk through with them and try to get them well trained before they take that laser and go on it and do their own jobs with it. So I'll be putting a training course on here today in the next few days with the crew, probably the next rain day. It looks like it's going to come up, and we'll be doing some exercises on the do's and don'ts and what to watch out for.
Yeah, today was really good. We had a lot of planting, lots of small trees, a lot of shrubs, and then a few perennials mixed in here and there. So we're gonna finish off the day with this, and then the hardscape crew is staying later to help Jeremy out with all the grading and some of the old gravel removal and putting in the new gravel. And while they're doing that, I'm gonna dig the trench for our electrical to get to the office so we can finally get electrical into the office for next week, which means we can move in. So lots of planting and then lots of earthwork for the last little bit of the day here, and then on to the exact same thing tomorrow. Lots of planting, a lot of plant layout, and then a lot of excavation and grading.
Yeah, so last night we got a notification that the spade truck was getting stuck out at the tree farm. So last night at the end of the day around 6 o'clock, I loaded up the skidster up onto the trailer, and then this morning at 6 a.m. I hit the road to get out there before they started spading to clean up that access road. So pretty exhausted with everything that's going on. Jumping around, but today we are doing some backfill after I got back from all of that cleaning up that mess out of the Port Hope at the tree farm. I'm here backfilling. I was hoping that another crew could do that, and so I could continue on excavating, but we are just got a lot going on here, so we got to prioritize the planting out there and get on to this excavation now. So I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but that's just how it goes at the end of a project. So the hardest part of the job is getting out of the gate and crossing the finish line. So we're right here at the finish line, and we have lots of odds and ends to get finished here. So that's the goal, is try to get this licked up before I leave. I have to head out at the end of the month. So getting all this base set up for the asphalt, and big tree spading and some planting. So we're here. Pressure's on, long days, and doesn't matter weather. We gotta keep on trucking through. So we're gonna make it.
Carpenters are just taking the walls apart on their shed there. Then they're going to load them on the back here, and we're going to drive it over to the concrete pad. And then I'm going to use the crane to pick up the walls and place them where they need to go. So I'm going to have to get creative with my rigging, but one of them will be really easy. The other ones will be a little harder, but we'll figure something out. So it won't be too hard. Yeah, that's good there. Why the f is this going out so slow? Yeah. I just got it in my fucking eye. Hoping that was water, not hydraulic fluid. Well, it's not going fast enough for it to leak everything, but it's when I move it. Yeah. Can you find a wrench to tighten this one? I know what one it is. Oh, Jesus. Oh, there we go. I think it was just a weight.
So this week we had a lot of planting done, and carpenters were working on installation of the electrical shed for our power, and we're really looking forward for next week to wrap everything up.
As you can see,
We are custom fitting this. Max is holding the camera very contently. We are trying to make this fit. The gutter should have